Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Bowles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Oh, my goodness. We're going to have a good time today. Got a great show planned. We're going to talk a little bit about what we did over the weekend and how that applied a little bit to business, and then talk a little bit about whatever you guys bring up, of course, as always. And then going to talk a little bit about fertilization for fall and a little bit of funny things customers say because we didn't get too far into that Friday. And then we're going to talk about leaf cleanup and the list goes on and on and on. So we'll see where it takes us today. But most importantly, I got you with me, and that's all that matters. Is we're going to help each other out today. We're going to see what we can do to help each other be a little more successful and profitable, and implement a few things into our business and take that one shot, one opportunity. And I'm feeling today that we're going to have an opportunity. I don't know what it is. My left arm's been itching a little bit. And I don't know if that's even true or not. I know the help. As soon as I say it, somebody will Google it. Probably somebody here in our office will Google it. But when your left palm itches, my mom used to say it's a good sign, means you're going to get some money. So we'll see what's happening with all that. Yeah, the left palm's itching a little bit. So we hopefully that old saying comes true, so we'll work on that. But anyway, the weather is outstanding here today again. And we had a really nice weather weekend. The weather out there right now is really great. Had a good, cool start to our morning, and not too crazy. So, man, it looks like we got an extended stretch of good weather going. Looks like the next 7 to 10 days is going to be pretty dry. So that'll give us a chance to get a lot of that seeding and aeration in. I know I've been talking a little bit about that last few shows for sure, but hey, it's not too late. It's not too late for you to bake. Hey, let's just say you said, hey, you know what, man, I have had a few calls, Wayne. I'm gonna see what I can do. Even if you just do 2 or 3 days of it, and you rent your machine for a few days or 2 days, whatever it is, and you go out and make $2,000-$3,000. It's a good day. It's a good day, man. You can easily go out and bust that out in a day by yourself. I mean, it's just the way it is. But we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But really looking forward to telling you guys about Friday night. Woohoo! Friday we was talking about the game, as we all call it in this area, and that's the Trinity St. X football game. And we have a really good crowd. I don't know what they announced the crowd out there, but they played at U of L's home stadium, the L&N Stadium. So I don't know. I'd say there was probably at least 15,000 people out there. I don't remember hearing a count. Do you? So, but it's a pretty nice crowd, and I mean, sometimes there's more. And it was one of the games of the week or something from. I'm trying to think who that was. Do you remember? American Rivalry games or something like Great American Rivalry that ESPN does. They were there and did that game, so that was pretty cool. So and the Marines were there. That's part of their sponsorship on that rivalry series. So so they were there, and Trinity pulled off a good win, 35-24, and go Rocks, man. That's all I got to say about that. So anybody in our area that's listening to it, hopefully you're a Trinity fan and you got you got the result that you wanted. But that is a big rivalry game. It really is, and not as crazy as it used to be, but between fans and whatnot. But it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good tailgate session. Daniel made it out with us, even though they had just gotten back the night before at I don't know what, 7:00, something like that, and trying to get over jet lag, but still made it out to the game. So there you go. So let's see what Seth has got to say to us this morning. Seth, appreciate you listening, my friend, to say the least. can you put in a work order for BAM to dispose of the 80s? I don't know. We're going to see if we get Matt or Brett on here Wednesday. I'll shoot them an email and see if they can hop on Wednesday, and we'll see. We'll see what they got. What they got to say about our weather. So I know it's looking pretty dry on their Clarity platform as we move along the next 7 to 10 days, and going to stay pretty warm too. So that's why I said, man, their information they give us is invaluable to helping us negotiate and run our business and decide if we're still taking, aeration and seeding jobs. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So looking forward to a couple more weeks of good weather, and let us get. We're still getting calls. I mean, we still had a couple emails come through our Thrive app, just something we use to generate leads for us over the weekend. So people are still thinking about it. We're still doing it, and all is good. So, yay. Hey, Jeopardy, one of our applicators here, I want to give her a shout out. She had her baby. Y'all probably heard us talking about that in the past. She had a healthy baby girl Friday night about 11 o'clock, somewhere in that ballpark. And I know she's hopefully feeling better now that because she would last week she was joking about she was ready for that kid to get out of there. So she had a healthy baby girl, and she sent us pictures of it Friday night, and pretty little girl already had a bow on her head. So there you go. Another one in the family. So congratulations, Jeopardy. And to your new daughter, that's 2 daughters for Jeopardy now. So she's rocking and rolling. Hopefully you guys are into some good work today. We're out trying to get quite a bit of mowing work done today. If a little bit of spraying as far as kill outs on some landscape work, we're going to get done a little bit later this week. And that's our Monday here at WLS. I mean, that's really what we're into, is going to get quite a few mowing things done. And then starting tomorrow through the rest of the week, we'll be doing some mowing and a little bit of landscape work, and certainly a whole lot of aeration and seeding work. So it's going to be a great week for that. Matter of fact, we might even start having to call people probably by Thursday or so, maybe, if we don't get any rain and get dried out again. But man, I tell you what, the last few days, and it's been going pretty good. The end of last week and Saturday, Matt went out and got a few yards done. So yeah, we're moving along. Hopefully things are moving along for you guys as well. But my big announcement today is Katie's birthday. Happy birthday, Katie. Yeah, 36 of them. She was actually born the morning of the game when she was born. And it was really cool. I mean, she got here about 6 a.m., give or take a little bit. And it was kind of funny. I thought, man, this is perfect, because by 6 o'clock tonight, I'll be ready to go to the game. So Jane was kind enough to let me go to the game. Yeah. And I said, Jane, don't you think you're going to need a little rest? And she's like, you're fine. You can go to the game. So, yeah, that's what we ended up doing. So went to the game. Katie was born. Honest to God, I can't tell you if St. Exeter Trinity won that year. The big thing was Katie coming in the world with us. And it's hard to believe, Katie, that it's been 36 years ago today. My goodness. She said it feels like 136. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. I'm not sure what that it really means. But happy birthday to Katie. And hope we went to play bingo yesterday, which was fun. Yeah, so we had a big weekend, actually. Friday the game, then Saturday we went up to Frankfurt to watch see Tabitha's grandkids, and then her grandson had a soccer game that was actually playing against one of their cousins, which was pretty cool. and watched that, and then came home yesterday. Came home, and then yesterday did the bingo thing. And I don't know, Katie. There must have been 8 or 9 of Katie's friends that went. It was a pretty good table full of women. I was the only guy there, and I'll tell you what, it was funny hearing all their stories, man. Hearing all their stories as they were talking and just sitting back and listening. But we had a great time. Katie even actually won yesterday, which was cool. And oh my God, we're not going to talk bingo long, but she actually won in 4 numbers. I mean, for you guys that play bingo or understand the game, that's not the easiest thing to do. 4 numbers. She got BIN was the free space, and then the G and the O is how they came out. And she won a couple $100 on that, and then ended up with about $100 on pull tabs. So she had a pretty good day yesterday. So Katie said she's buying lunch for everybody today. So just give her a call, put your order in, and she'll buy lunch. So that's what was going on with all that. Great to have Daniel back regular on his show. I know he was back Friday, but hey, we're kicking off a new week. Last week of September. That's crazy. Daniel was joking Katie today and said, when are the ghosts going up in here? So, and she says, well, actually, Daniel said the ghosts going up Wednesday. And Katie said, well, yeah, but maybe today. So, I don't know. We got to let her birthday sign hang up for a little while, before we put the ghost up. Katie is like me when it comes to decorations, man. She's just all about the decorations. So, and she keeps it very festive around here, and keeps us all going. And that's we all got her a birthday card, and she really does keep us rolling around pretty well here at WLS, and we appreciate that. And it takes all of us for sure. I told Daniel today when we got back in here this morning. I told him, I said, "Man, it's nice to have you back." So it's always fun to see somebody get a little break, but it's always cool, man, when you get back and you're sitting there and you're at full force. So you guys know what I'm talking about. So. Anyways, that's that. So let's take a short break and we'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry station. Don't you go anywhere.
Experience the best of Louisville fine dining at Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse, where glitz, glamour, and world-class cuisine take center stage every night. From nationally acclaimed USDA prime steaks to an exquisite raw bar and award-winning wine list, Jeff Ruby's delivers an unforgettable culinary experience. The rich Art Deco ambiance, live entertainment, and impeccable service make every visit a special occasion. Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse, a must-eat while visiting Louisville for the Equip Expo 2025. Book your reservation today at jeffruby.com/Louisville.
Hey, this is Aaron Walls, your host of the Landscaper Roots, right here on Turfs Up Radio. If you're like me, you know how real it is being a solo operator in the landscape industry. It's now my mission to grow with you, sharing stories and experiences while learning from others who have been in the industry and willing to share their mistakes so we don't have to make them. Join me live Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern or 6 a.m. slow time for you Central folks, right here on Turfs Up Radio.
All righty. Everybody raise your hand who missed Aaron Waltz today. I did. I'm raising my hand. We're having a little technical difficulties today, so Aaron didn't bail out on us. He just had a little technical difficulty trying to sign on. It wasn't his fault. We had some new passwords for our software, and like same thing we talk about all the time. Technology's nice, man, but when it's working the way it's supposed to, it's really nice. But sometimes it's problematic. And unfortunately, he has the first show of the day to kick us all off at 7 a.m. That's 6 a.m. slow time. That we didn't know it was going to be an issue. And Aaron, sorry you didn't get to do your show today, but certainly will be tuned in as always, listening to you tomorrow. Welcome back to Profit Time here on Turf's Up Radio. Glad to have you guys with us this morning, and nice to be seeing our season move along. And we're really moving along here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm sure you guys are seeing the same thing, in your own markets. I mean, here we are at the end of September, and I think we're literally down to less than a handful of liquid applications left, and those are just holdbacks. People that were wanted to wait for some reason or another. Whether it was something getting done on their yard or whatnot. But it's kind of interesting to see that fall transition take place here at WLS, and I'm sure you guys see it the same with you guys. But yeah, I think it's Thursday or Friday. Thursday. Took a spray tank out of one of our trucks. I mean, it's just transitioning over. It's that transitioning time, and I can't wait till we transition into snow because that's my favorite thing to do. But hey, we still got a long way to go. We got a long way to go before we get to that aspect of it. But we know that it's out there. Before snow, we're going to have the expo, and that's coming up. It'll be here before we know it. Here we are, almost 1st of October, so less than 3 weeks, I guess, is what it amounts to. Expo will be rocking and rolling here, and hopefully you guys are down here. And Greg Burkle, Burkhall, so spit it out. Our friends from Canada up there are coming to see us again. So there's a lot of Canadians that come down for the show, but they're always really cool. Him and a significant other dropping in on us, and said he reached out to me the other day and said, hey, they were going to drop in. Is there any Canadian snacks that we would like? And I said, no, not really, man. Just your presence here. I got we keep a picture of them up here in our office. It's really cool. Every year, that they're down here, they'll stop by and and say hey. So it's kind of neat, the people that you run into and you meet and you talk to, and to become, I guess they've been stopping by now. Well, no, 4 or 5 years maybe. I don't know. It seemed pretty good length of time. So Expo's a great place to mingle, meet people that you stay in touch with, and also. But if you can't make it, your team here at Turfs Up Radio is going to make you feel like you're there. Trust me. We're going to have live coverage each and every day out at the Expo, doing live interviews, and Daniel and Katie will be roaming the floor as always, talking to you guys live. So looking really forward to that coming up here. And this will be my first Expo with a really good hip. Last year I had my new hip when the Expo rolled around, but I was still doing a lot of therapy. I was just about a month out from having my surgery and was feeling good, but just wasn't 100%. So it's going to be really cool this year, just being able to go out there and know you got complete mobility to get around and do what you want to do. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing you guys. So fall fertilizer be rolling hard and hot by that time. So that's always a good thing. We always enjoy the fertilizing time of the year as well here. So 2 reasons. One is we know we're setting our lawns up for success for next spring, and getting some of the root development and the carbohydrate reserve and those tall fescues and bluegrasses that we're growing predominantly in our area, and just really enjoy the fall time of the year. Just like to see it. You're transitioning out, so into the fall, then the winter, and then we're back to spring and pre-emergence and all that. We'll get Stephen West on here with Sigma Organics maybe soon to talk about fall fertilizing, and we'll see what we can do to help elevate and educate the industry from that standpoint. So, but before we get into all that, I wanted to talk a little bit about a little continuation of some things we talked about last week, and that was, funny things that our customers say. And I don't know. Well, I'm gonna get Daniel a headset. I know he'll have he'll have good input on this, I know. So, but I'm gonna get Daniel plugged in here and get Daniel's ideas on these because the thing is, customers, we love them. You love yours, I love ours. We all love our customers, right? But sometimes they can be just a little bit. I don't. I got to think of a good descriptor. What's a good adjective? They're all green. That's number one. That's something. They're all green, but sometimes they can be a little challenging. Let's go with that as how we describe it. But the main thing that I think we want to talk about a little bit on customers is here we go. We might be having a little bit of internet issues. Bum, ba-da-da. We can switch it real quick. Thanks for the heads up. Let's see. Go up here. I got you. Y'all bear with us. You may be hearing us just perfectly. I'm going to go to, we're on AT&T.
Let me see.
Let's see. Katie, give us a shout out over there. See how we're sounding.
Take a listen.
Over there. We're back on, he said. So thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. So we were out about 20 seconds. So we'll see how that goes. If we have any problem, we can switch it. We can switch it. And we got 3 options here. We got 3 options. I've heard it both ways. But talking about funny things that clients say, we started on this Friday a little bit, but we had a customer the other day, and I know we talked about this, but I want to dive a little deeper into it. And I understand that a lot of customers are not looking at it from a business perspective on, why you bid a job the way you bid a job. I mean, they're not understanding, overhead cost and a lot of, they're not understanding break-even points. And, it's like, well, what if you do one side but not the other side, and they think it's going to be half the cost? And, there's just a lot of variables that get involved in, putting pricing together, as you guys know. But the one thing I think we all need to understand, and we've talked about it before, we're going to touch on it right now, is establishing a minimum. We tell people our minimums on the telephone for any service that we offer, just to make it clear, that, hey, this is our minimum. And it's crazy how many people, say, yeah, okay, that's fine. I, still would like to get some pricing. And then when you give them the pricing, they're like, well, is that your best price? And we're not going to dive too deep into that today, but I just wanted to put a little finishing touch on that because we did talk about it the other day. And the answer is yes. I mean, the price is the price. And the only way you ever understand that and appreciate that as a business owner is to understand your cost and the break-even point. And this particular lady had a driveway that had a new driveway that had been installed, and how it looks when after they installed something like that, it just needs to be regraded and tapered and either seed or sod along the driveway. And she just didn't understand why, well, hey, what if you do one side, not the other side? Because the one side's not too bad, and my husband and I can do that. And she wasn't satisfied with that simply taking $300 off the price of the job. But she was not eliminating half the work, and it wasn't that big of a job anyway. It was only like right at like $1,800. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. And but she just didn't understand that. So I don't know. I need to ask Kyle how that actually worked out. But initially, it worked out as a rejected proposal. But I think they did end up calling back after, I guess, they thought about it or reached out to some other contractors and either didn't get a call back or got higher pricing or whatever. But that's why you need to know your minimums, and that's the way we're going to leave that one. And I know something that a lot of our customers have questions about, and I'd be curious if you all run into it as well. But if you guys offer any type of warranty on seed or sod, or I know we do not. We do not offer a warranty on seed or sod. There's too many uncontrollable variables. And it's really and it depends on how you explain it to your customer as to if it goes back to it's not what you say, but how you say it. If you just, well, no, there's no warranty on seed or sod, that's a little bit rough along the edges, if you will, no pun intended, rather than saying, hey, here's what we can tell you. We're going to add double processed topsoil. We're going to grade it. We're going to use certified tall fescue grass seed. So we're using great material, great workmanship, and it's going to be right when we're finished. But what we can't control is watering, care, and maintenance. That's what we can't control. And when you can't control those, it's hard for any of us to say we're going to offer a warranty on something like that. So just curious what you guys do when it comes to seed or sod. And if you do, that's fine. Doesn't mean it's wrong or right. It's just as we used to, I'll say that, we used to guarantee germination, but not establishment. And even at that became problematic as we did more and more work and ran into more and more customer mindsets that, thought, hey, if they're going to guarantee that it's going to germinate, then I don't have to babysit it and take care of it. And I think we didn't see that vision side of it when we were doing, 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever yards, but when you start doing greater volume, then it's those same little issues start what do you call that, Daniel? What's not a problem for 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, as you do more and more of them, they do become a problem. But it's so many uncontrollable factors, like the amount of water, the timing on the water, Mother Nature, it's just too many uncontrollables. So that's why we got out of the warranty business on seed and sod. And they're like, well, what do you mean you can't guarantee my sod? I said, well, what I can guarantee is if you come by our shop, we got sod on the side of our building on asphalt that we water every day when we have it left over until we sell it to somebody. I mean, that's not how we explain it to them, but that's the reality of it. And I mean, all you got to do is a little bit of concern when it comes to taking care of it, care and maintenance. And we do pass out care and maintenance directions to all of our customers. And that's the best we can do. That is the best we can do. And I was just curious how you guys do it. Seth said there's too many uncontrollables for a warranty. John says, hey, Katie, they have a written script that goes with their proposal, so they know up front we can't control the weather. And, John, speaking of that written script, we do too. It's called a care and maintenance directions. And here's how we do it with it. It goes out with our proposal. Our team, our guys going out and doing the seeding work, they take hand copies with them of care and maintenance directions to give the customers if they're home, and if not, they're left there. And then we send a third copy out when we actually invoice the balance due on the work. So we've told them initially what they need to do. We send it with the proposal. We give them one when the work's completed, and we send them another one. And we still get confusion on when should I mow, how much water should I use. We actually give them a rain gauge, a low gold rain gauge for them to put in their yard so they know how much water they're putting out there, because we give them a suggested amount of water that we'd like to see them put on it. So they don't have to buy anything. I mean, we're giving them what they need. And, heck, I mean, we've even got hose timers and sprinklers if they want to go that route, that we'll either rent them, or if they want to us buy them and we'll install them, they can keep them, whatever. So we try to make it as easy as possible and to give them the most opportunities for success when it comes to watering and care, and then when to mow. And that, hey, within that says, some areas are going to come in thick, some areas are going to come in light, but this is normal. Don't panic, and Kyle the other day was kind of joking about it, and he said, we just ought to telling people that, hey, for X number of dollars, we can fix your yard and leave it at that. And not seriously tell people that, but that is how you get sometimes. I mean, it's like, my God, what part of looking at these care and maintenance directions, and I shared this last week with y'all, but I think we're really going to do it. And for you guys that were listening to us the other day, you've heard this, but I'm going to say it again for people that are listening today that might not have heard that show. We're seriously going to put in there, and I don't know, Daniel, was it you that said put it halfway through? Or somebody suggest that, because we said initially we were going to put the opportunity for a gift card at the bottom of it to see if they read it. But Daniel had a good idea of, hey, let's put it in the middle, because sometimes when you see something, you'll look at the top and bottom, and that just simply is a $50 gift card or some value. I don't know, 75, 100. But if we can reduce phone calls, it's not that we don't want to talk to our customers, but we're trying to eliminate their confusion in the beginning by giving them multiple opportunities to see how to take care of it. And we don't mind talking to them. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want anybody to hear me say, that, well, God, Dwayne, they just don't want to talk to their customers. No, that's not it. We just want, since they're accountable for it, then they don't take care of it, and then they're mad at us, and then it's a negative Google review, so we'll help them as much as we need to help them, because nobody wants it to be successful any more than we do. That's what, and that's what we tell people when we get into a discussion with them, that, hey, that's why we use double processed topsoil. That's why we use, certified grass seed. That's, and we go through our whole process because we want it to be successful for you. And we can't be any more forthcoming on the reality of that, because when they're happy, we're happy. When they're sad, even though it's not our fault, it is our problem. And that's where, it comes into trying to train and educate your customers as to what their responsibilities are going to be. But it's cool that, several of you guys have said you don't offer warranty on seed or sod for the same reasons we don't. So for you guys out there that are thinking about, doing more seeding or sodding, and I'm not trying to turn it into a negative and say, well, God, that's exactly why I don't do it. No, there's plenty of profit dollars to be made in this side of the industry, but there also needs to be a certain amount of accountability on the consumer's end of helping it be successful, as well. So, like I said, we try to make it easy with giving them the care and maintenance. We give them a rain gauge so they can judge how much water they're putting out there. And of course, as always, they can call us, and that's what, and we don't mind talking to them, like I said, and we're going to move along here. But it seems like sometimes you bend over backwards to try to make something easy for somebody, and they just don't have it. So, with that being said, let's take a short break, and we'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. Welcome back to Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. Absolutely. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Yes, indeedy. Darren put a AI picture up on our website, and not bad, but we're going to Send him a better one. It's crazy what AI can do these days. It is. And you might as well embrace it for all of your companies. That is the reality of it as well, because, I mean, it is where it's going for right now. And a lot of it's really great stuff. So, but anyways, we'll talk about that another day, another dollar. Speaking of today, though, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Profit Circles. We're having our monthly Zoom meeting. So, all you guys listening to us in the Profit Circle, feel free to join us tonight at 7 p.m. for our monthly Zoom meeting. And we'll just cover, like we always do, what we talked about during the month, and we'll go from there with it. So, love to have you. If you guys would like to hop in there with us and you're not a member, feel free to hop on there and start your 7-day free trial and get in with us. So, appreciate our couple new members that we got signed up last week. So, want to talk a little bit about leaf removal and the do's and don'ts, maybe is what we'll call it, if y'all want to call it that. But we're getting ready to get into that time of the year in a lot of markets, and I know for us it really kicks in good around last week of October. But it starts different for different folks across the country, and but when it comes to leaves, there's a good way of doing it, there's a better way of doing it, and there's a best way of doing it. And the frustrations that I've seen in my set with myself doing leaves is, first of all, and my brother Corky, he had a good saying for leaves. He really did. He said his thing was, you got to sell it, you got to do it, and you got to justify it, the price. And I mean that, and regardless if you're charging by the hour, if you're charging flat rate, whatever it is, there always seems to be justification to leaves. So my suggestion for everybody out there that does leaves, and hey, if it's working the way you're doing it, let it work. Okay. But the one thing I don't want you to do, and we're not going to harp on it much, we're going to move along more deeper in the leaves, but is this mowing cost times something multiplier. Please do not use that. It is the only thing that I will say that, and you guys listen to me enough and hear me enough, and very seldom do I ever say something's the wrong way to do something, that there's a lot of alternative ways to skin a cat, if you will. Not literally. So, but in running your business, there's a lot of different ways to do things. But taking a multiplier times a mowing cost to do leaves is not a way to do leaf removal. I don't care if you're mowing them, mulching them, blowing them, bagging them, vacuuming them, that there's just no method to the madness to that, other than I don't know really how to price my leaf job, so I'm going to do it like that because that's what social media told me to do. Don't position yourself for failure. Too many companies leave too much money laying out there on the ground, no pun intended, when it comes to leaf removal. You either say, oh, poo, fell off again. Let's see what we can do here. Dang, got it. I just literally go in and switch internet, right? Let's try this one. You shouldn't lose me long. All right, let me know if I'm back. Ta-da, there we go. I switched our internet providers. I think we're good. Katie, we good over there? Can you? We're having a little bit of issue today, but not sure. All right, so we're trying to get back in there. Let's see what's going on. I don't know. We had some fall off. Let's see what we got going there. Let me flick to this one. All right, should be about 10 seconds, and let me know if we're back on. Hopefully that's got us. I really don't know if we're having internet issues or if it's site issues. We'll see. So we'll wait. Daniel will be here in a second. And we're back on. We're all right. We're good. All right. So we think we're good. There we go. So getting back to leaves, thanks. I appreciate your heads up on that, Darren. So we should be good now. We'll try to get through this for the next 14 minutes and 32 seconds. But, when it comes to leaves, first of all, a lot of people don't like doing because you say it's too hard. There's no money in it. When the reality of it is, it's a great opportunity to go out there and make some money. That's just it. Don't leave those profit dollars laying out there because it's a great source of reoccurring revenue for your company. And beyond your regular maintenance people. Now, as you scale your company and you grow a little bit, you'll have people that's all you do is their leaves for them. You just do their leaf removal for them. We've got a lot of people like that. Every year we just do their leaves. They either mow their own properties or they got somebody else mowing their own property, and whoever's doing it doesn't want to do leaves because they're not set up to do leaves right. And every year we do leaves for them. So that's how I want you guys to think about it is what's the real opportunity in leaf removal? And there is quite a bit, but you got to think a little bit about it before you just hop in and say, okay, well, we're just going to do it. Or, hey, I'm going to do the ones I got to do, and that's all I want to do. But most contractors aren't earning what they deserve when it comes to leaf removal simply because they don't know what they don't know about the pricing. And they're throwing darts when it comes to pricing, like a lot of other services. But, the reality of it is just sit down and calculate your cost per hour. When you're trying to do leaves with lawnmowers and mulching them and just mulching them. If you're doing a limited number, you can do it that way. But you got to think about what are you doing to the organic layer and all those, you get to a point where you're putting too much composted organic material into a lawn where you're going to start having problems within the lawn because it doesn't have time to break down all that compost. Yeah, you mow them, you mulch them, they get into the organic layer, create the organic layer, however you want to say that's adding to the organic layer, but it can be too much. So that's where if it's slow and it may not be really good for the lawn to do that. All right. That's just the reality of it. If you don't know what to charge, there's a simple fix to that too. And that is simply calculating your cost for your truck, for your vacuum, for your disposal fees, establish minimums for that. That's what you got to do. And when you establish your minimum, you stick to your minimum. And too many times we see companies that establish a so-called minimum, but come off of that minimum. And so have a minimum for showing up, a minimum for your vacuum, a minimum for your dump fees. Establish your minimums and stick to them. That's where once you do that, once you understand that, leaves are still going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, but you got it priced right. Now you got to figure out what's my best option on equipment. Because a lot of, it took me a long time. A really good friend of mine, he's dead now, but Tom Simpson finally convinced me many, many years ago that we needed to be vacuuming leaves into a dump truck and not into a trailer. And he was 100% right. Now, I'm not suggesting that you guys go out and buy a big dump truck or a 550 with an enclosure or, if you've got that type of truck that you're using on the landscape side of your business, that is going to be your most efficient way of doing it. As far as capacity goes, speed of getting it done, okay? So, and you say, well, I don't know if I want to invest in that overhead. What are you doing when you invest in that overhead for a more efficient methodology to clean leaves up versus blowing them out, mulching them up, or bagging them up, or whatever you're doing with them, rather than vacuuming them. Because what it really boils down to is we all have 24 hours a day, right? And we get to use those 24 hours a day how each and every one of us want to use it. And this goes back to what Daniel talks about all the time about, doing things in 1% increments. Change 1%, because then 1% might lead to 2% or 3%. And that's what you see happening when it comes to leaf removal, that if you can invest a little bit of money into equipment to make you more efficient on cleaning leaves up, even though your cost per hour of operation increases to do leaves more efficiently, you got the opportunity to do more jobs during the day. So the bottom line cost to the customer is less than doing it the slow way. But you don't understand that until you sit down and you calculate cost per hour for your company. You think, man, I've already got the lawnmower, I'm just going to mow them and mulch them. Well, mowing and mulching is fine to a certain extent, but there's normally going to be at least a couple weeks in there where it's going to be much more efficient to vacuum them up and haul them away. And it's going to be a service that you can offer customers that maybe, hey, but they don't mind spending their Saturday blowing their leaves to the street, but they don't want to spend Sunday bagging them up and having 127 bags out at the curb either. So then you can solicit the other service of vacuuming for people. And I think that's what you got to think about is what are some different ways that we can utilize our hours more efficiently. So even though we're adding overhead to our business, the amount of money that we're going to make in that 6-week window, let's say, is going to overcome the additional cost of the overhead, even though we're buying seasonally used equipment. It's no different than buying seasonally used equipment for aeration, power seeding, snow and ice management. I mean, the list goes on and on and on how seasonal services can be an add-on and be very profitable for your company. So now what do you offer? You offer faster service to your existing customer base. You open up another customer base opportunity of people that you just vacuum leaves for. And we've got a lot of those we do every year, that it's reoccurring revenue. They call us to come vacuum their leaves. You reach out to some of your competitors and say, hey, man, you tired of bagging leaves? You get them to the street, we'll come vacuum for you. So it opens up a lot of different opportunities, but we got to get past the fact of it's too hard and there's no money in it. It's like anything. That's the easy answer, right? What's too hard and there's no money in it is the easy answer. And it's not a hard answer to say, hey, let's go out and invest in equipment and do this more efficiently. That's just the sensible answer. I mean, why are you not wanting to do something the most efficient way possible? And like I said, you got to think about your customer's turf. And the more organic material you're putting into that, some of you guys probably don't think about it, don't care. It's just, well, mulch them. At some point, you're going to start having problems with the lawn because of the excessive organic material in that layer. So when it comes to leaves, you don't have to be a huge company to do it this way. I see a lot of guys with dump trailers that do leaves. Absolutely. Blow them into a dump trailer. If you don't have a truck that you can enclose, that's fine. But if not, get you a dump trailer, blow them into a dump trailer, and have a dump fee on each and every job you do. Don't be scared to charge for a very specialized service that this is. And the fee for this service is not mowing cost times 2 or mowing cost times 3. There is no methodology to that. Everybody using that, throw it out the window because it is the dumbest thing or one of the dumbest things you'll ever do for your business. Calculate what you've got in it, even if you're going to mow and mulch them. And we've talked why that may or may not be a good idea. You still need to calculate your cost per hour to see what that translates into as far as what you need to charge for leaves. For us, 90% of our leaf work is labor hour related. Because from one year to the next, the variables change with leaves. Is it a wet season? Is it a dry season? Are they having us do it on a weekly basis? Are we doing it twice during the season, once during the season? Have we had frost? Have we had snow? All those things become variables. And that's why when you price a leaf job, you could look at a leaf job. Let's just say we're in the middle of leaf season, right? You could look at a leaf job today and go do it tomorrow, literally, and it's a completely different job because of wind, right? And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about that do leaves. And what I found is when we were flat rating jobs and saying, okay, it'd be $450 to do your leaves or whatever the amount was. If it was easier when we got there, they're like, well, yesterday, we didn't have all the wind. And now when you got here today, the wind's been blowing. We don't have nearly the leaves. What are you going to charge me? But if the wind's blowing the opposite direction and now they got 3 times as many leaves or 2 times as many leaves because the wind's blowing toward the end of the cul-de-sac where your customer's at that you're cleaning up, now they got a lot more leaves, then they're thinking, oh, yeah, great. That's why we found that the best way to do it for us in the majority of the time is on a per labor hour rate with minimums established for the truck and vacuum showing up and our crew showing up. And then so much per labor hour after that. And the labor hour rate depends on what your costs per hour of operation are. So what Wayne's charging is, or what Daniel's charging, or what Larry's charging, or Katie's charging, as contractors, it doesn't matter what everybody else is charging. What matters is, and what's going to happen with you eventually is you're going to figure out that, number one, there is money in leaf removal. But number 2 is I got to figure out the most efficient way to do it. And once I figure out the most efficient way to do it, then I'm going to be able to go out and do more jobs during the day because I've got the efficiency in the equipment. And I can literally show anybody that wants to look at it how somebody set up properly with a vacuum, even though your cost per hour is greater at the end of the day because of the volume of work you can do is greater, your cost to the customer is less than going around in circles for 2 hours, mulching shit up. If you're not sure about that, reach out to me. Get in the profit circle. Reach out to me on Turfscape Radio, however you want to do it. But there is money to be made in leaf removal. You just got to be smarter than the average bear. You got to stop trying doing it like everybody else is doing it and know that it's a reoccurring revenue source that can really help your company put some money in the bank as you go into the winter. It's your choice, as always. It's your choice. It's your business. That's a great thing about being a business owner, isn't it? You get to make the choice. Make the choice to be more successful, more profitable. Appreciate you guys listening to Profit Time. We'll see you on Wednesday. And remember, profit is not a dirty word.